You use random counters of various sorts. I've tried to make my boxes as oriental as possible. So that box is to put the tokens in that denote movement, which you take without looking at. This box has got my dice in, which will probably not end up in there. Here I've got blood spots. Here is a box where I keep the sort of tokens for movement. So the ones in there at the moment are the ones that are left of the samurai that I've not deployed. And here I have 10 counters to show when someone's taking deliberate cover or when they are reloading, having fired. Now, I have to make a bit of a disclaimer at this point. I've played this game a lot and for a long time, and as an experienced gamer, there are things I've discovered that I don't agree with. Anyone who knows me will say, what a surprise. But there are things I just don't understand. So what I intend to do, but I might not be as successful as you would like, I intend to be honest. I tell you what the game actually says, I tell you what I do, and explain the difference. So this is based very loosely on the first campaign in the book. So it's a random encounter between two very small forces. You can determine your forces. Every card for every unit has a number. So 2 in the blue flag means they're worth 2 points. We usually have armies of about 24 points, but I set it up for 24 points today, and on my own, with all the mistakes I make because I'm stupid, that got complicated. Also, when you play the real game, when you take out a fate token, when you take the third one of those, it's the end of the turn. But when you take a fate token, you take a skill card, and it can be a good sword, better armor, it can be knowledge of an area. Now, because they are quite specifically campaign based, because you improve your character, I don't want to play this game and end up finding some incredible bonus for my samurai in a game I'm playing against myself, and then take it to the club and say, oh, by the way, I found this dead good sword. So I'm not playing with any cards, and any cards that she had, and yes, it is a she, have been left behind. So the scenario is they're on the way to a shrine in no man's land, and there's a little tea room, like a motorway lay-by, and lounging about here are a group of random, unpleasant thugs. Herberts, we would call them, and they're not really expecting anything. Their leader is going to be in the tea house. I'm going to put the musketeer at the front, lolling against the dragon statue. You might have had a whittle up it, I don't know. Spearmen, it's a nice warm morning there, lolling about on the riverbank, pushing each other in, generally being silly. And because I've put a missile troop at the front, I'm going to put a missile troop at the back. The table should be 3 by 3. This table's 4 by 3. Doesn't matter. I'm only going to play it in the middle of what we can see. I will show you this samurai. Look into the, Galen's got Parkinson's business. When I first was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and I was struggling to paint before the dopamine and everything was sorted, this is how I painted figures and was quite pleased, really. It's just very dark yellow, and some white, and then some medium yellow, and then touched up the white, and then some light yellow, touched up the white, put up a bit of red on him, and a bit of black with a gunmetal, and a bit of dry brushing and a bit of inking. So actually looks quite effective. There's no effort put into that whatsoever. Well, actually there was a lot of effort, just not much skill, which isn't the same thing, is it? So now each of these units has a token. The Ashigari, the peasants, get one token because they have one action. The samurai, different samurai have different ones. This chap has two. They go in there. Now, ambling along the road, not expecting to be challenged at all, comes a group of warriors who are led by my recently victorious in a campaign game samurai. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but all of our samurai have characteristics, and they can acquire honour and dishonour. They can get promoted, they can get different jobs. So we have a whole sort of universe that's developed from those first 6 Test of Honour games. So the first thing we do is we're going to dice for who takes the first counter out of the pot, because neither side's really got initiative. So I should have said my men are white. My men, by which I mean the samurai I play in the game. This lady here is white. So black one, so that's them. So give them a shake. A lot of people use a bag for this. I don't have one. So I just have to look away, and I've taken it out. Samurai. So it has to go. I've only got one samurai. Later on, when you choose armies, like if you choose an army of 24 points, you might have 2 samurai or 3 samurai, but samurai might be worth 4, 5, 6, 7 points. So you're going to have a lot less men. Oh, the other thing is, when your samurai's dead, the game's over. So a lot of people hedge their bets by having more than one samurai. Okay, so I played this scenario out in my head for you. So I know that this samurai is a belligerent twit. Get these fancy little measures, look. So he walks 6. There's not really any running in this. So he walks 6, you know, that arrogant, strutty walk he does. And we've found a lot of people put their tokens on the cards which they have along the side of the board. If you look to the far side of the board, you'll see where my cards are. But we've also found that you forget. So being old men, we do that. He's played his first token. Now, the next token must belong to my side. And it's Ashigari. So you're not allowed to pass through people in this game, but there is actually room there for that archer. Now, an archer can move 3 and shoot. So that archer is going to move 3 to that grassy knoll. And he's going to shoot at that samurai. No, actually, I'm not. I'm not going to shoot at the samurai because I want this game to feel like a Japanese film. I don't want it to feel like a war game. Now, if that archer fires at that samurai and wounds him, that means my samurai can't gain any real honour, because to gain honour, I've got to kill him when he's 100% ready for a battle. Now, that's not a Test of Honour rule. In Test of Honour, you have cards for dishonour and honour and rewards and injuries. I don't do that. I've just noticed, you can see me in that little mirror. I've I don't know if I like that. Shut that. Put it there like that so you can see the beauty of the Japanese craftsmanship, not me. So I prefer to start to, flavour it myself. Now, for that archer not to shoot at the nearest target, it needs to pass a test of wits. Now here he is. This is the bowman. Now his wits are that black picture of a brain. It says 3. So he throws 3 dice, and you always need 3 swords, dead easy. So I throw 3 dice. 1, 2, 3 swords. So he can choose a target that is not the closest. And he's going to go for, obviously, I think the most dangerous chap is that little sneaky musket man there. I've got a range of 20, he's 9 away. And again, because I'm under 12, I'm okay. If I've got a range of 24, but over 12, I only do 2 injury dice. So this is probably better. So I'm going to shoot at that musketeer, and I need 3 swords. No. Now, I've got 2 swords and 1 cross. As long as I don't get more crosses and swords, that's okay. But more crosses and swords is a fumble, and I don't like that. It's bad things can happen. So that was his turn. I go back to the mystical pot of doom, and I pull out an ashigari. Now, because that musketeer got shot at, and he didn't like it, he's going to shoot back. And he's going to move and hide sneakily, if he can, a little bit behind that post. So now he takes a shot. He gets 3 dice to shoot, but he gets 4 for injury because a musket ball is nastier. And he's going to shoot at the archer. The archer shot at him 3 swords. Now, normally, or in some cases, my archer would be able to say, okay, I'm going to play my token that I haven't played to try and dodge. But I've played my token, so I can't dodge. So if you go to the bowman here, I've got that little arrow thing. That's for dodging. Well, I can't dodge. So all I can do is take the damage. And the damage from the musket is 4 dice. But it's definitely hit me because I can't dodge it. So here we go. And it's 3 swords, which kills the archer, which is very sad and makes him cry. Right, so I'll teach you, won't it? Now that token here needs to come off with the archer, because if it goes back in the pot, you'll have too many tokens and it'll all go wrong. So now I've got my ashigari, and it's going to be my musket man. Well, I'm going to advance and take a shot at his musket man. I've just forgotten something, that his musket man needs to reload. So while we're doing that, I have just done a silly thing, and I've caught the top of a spear, which is incredibly fragile, and I've snapped it off. So he's now gone into the repair shop for a bit of work. So yes, the musketeer gets reloads. First of all, let's do that. Keep on top of ourselves with the bookkeeping. Shoots 3. Hits. Now, this is where I differ from some people I've seen play this online. My reading of the rules says because he's got cover, he gets a free save, in as much as he doesn't need to pay a token for it. So That's what I play. So he's behind that bit of wood. Okay, it's only a bit of wood, but this guy's only found an arquebus. So if you pays your money, takes your choice. Now, that doesn't save him. He would have needed 3. Now, I do know that I've got 4 for a musket shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. He's dead. That comes off because we won't need it anymore. That comes off because we don't need it anymore. Interesting. That's your Gary. And it's them. So it's going to have to be that group of... so it could be an archer, couldn't it? Sort of making it all about the missile fire at the moment. But no, it's got right where it's going to be. That archer moves 3. And then... So he shouldn't be there. He's just a peasant. Take him away. So look, he has got a shot, but I tend to say if it's a samurai archer, yeah, okay. But the gap between the lion and the samurai isn't a base width. There's not a base width there when I measure it. Now I think a samurai could fire through there. I don't think a peasant can. So he gets to there, he realises he can't shoot. He moves another 3. And again, that's not a rule in the book. Line of sight is and things, but that's not. Okay, so I've got a large group of pikemen, spearmen, whatever, moving up. Now they can't actually move yet because the samurai's not moved, so they just bumbled up behind the samurai. Now it's their samurai. Their samurai's second and final move. Now because it's the second and final move, in actual fact, they don't want to get too near to my samurai, because if they do, my samurai will attack them and they won't have any defences. So I don't want to be within 12. You can pre-measure everything, it says in the rules. Therefore, that's 6. That's 12. His sudden early bravado has backed off. He's realised that actually what he's facing, a large lady in imperial armour covered in scars, is maybe not quite what he thought he was facing when he hopped up full of sake and started shouting and bawling at her. So he's having a rethink. Now he's had his 2 samurai moves. There can't be much in here because there haven't been any fate yet. Samurai. So, my samurai, as I say, she's a wily old bird. So you don't want to necessarily get herself shot to pieces, but equally she's no coward. She's going to move behind that hedge. That hedge that she's moved behind is made out of uncooked spaghetti. I know. Uncooked spaghetti and bits of hair off one of my daughter's old dolls. So just it cost me nothing. Samurai. There we go. Oh, back in the pot of doom. And I've got, oh, samurai. Me again. And again, I know they've still got peasants to come out, so I'm not moving from there. I'm not going any closer. I'm not an idiot. And peasants come out. There we go. Just going to put them there. And then I now realise why no fate tokens came out. Because I didn't put any in. So they're in now. So I put the counters back, not the reloads, just the movement counters. And if someone at this point hadn't moved, it would be hard luck. One of the interesting things about the game is you could take all 3 fate tokens out one after another. The turn can end without anybody moving, or any number of figures moving, including them all. It really is a wild balance. Now, because I don't really know who took the last fate token, but whoever took the last fate token would start the turn. But I don't know who it was because I was an idiot. So I'm going to throw for initiative again. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. This time, it's my team that are going. I apologise for saying mine. I'm not neutral. I'd like to say I was, but I'm not. She... Well, you know what? She's going to lay into them. She's a samurai. She's not messing about. She's not here to make friends. So she has the white one, an attack of 5. 2, 4, 5. She has an attack of 5. Here we go. And she gets absolutely nothing. Now what that means is she has to bounce back 1 inch. That's a fail. Ha. You know all that stuff I said earlier about her being a brave warrior? Forget that. It's their samurai. Now, Now their samurai, he's seen that and he thinks, oh, you know what? She's maybe not as tough as she looks. So he comes tearing through here. And I think because he's a dishonourable little toe rag, he's pretty much shouting at every one of his troops to shoot at her, bash her, thump her. Fate comes out. Now, that means a couple of things. Firstly, if we were playing the full game, I would now take a fate card. And it would give me some bonus, usually. But we're not doing that. And I explain why. Secondly, I now miss a turn. Because I can't play a fate token, can I? Which means my opponent gets to go. And he gets an Ashigari. Now, I don't want to, because I've already declared my dishonourable nature, why go in with the samurai when they can do it? Now, they get, interestingly, because they're in a group of 3, they get 3, because they're spearmen, but they get +1 because they're in a group. They have other bonuses as well. Often in this game, when somebody dies within 6 inches of someone, should do a test of honour. And if they fail that test of honour, they have to run away 6 inches. And I mention that tentatively because I didn't do it when those 2 men died earlier on. So make of that what you will. But you'll notice that the game's not ending, the world's not ending. It happened to both of us. Ho hum, ha he ho. Oh dear. They get more crosses than swords. Now, in the rules, you would now go to the rules and it would say the attackers make a fumble, they stab themselves or shoot themselves in the ear hole. I don't do that. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not having any, oh, my musket's blown up in my face nonsense. They didn't win, they go away. Yabu sucks. If they have a missile weapon, I do say maybe an archer snapped a bowstring, or perhaps a musketeer is outshot or has a blockage, if you'll pardon the expression. But I don't penalise that sort of combat. I can't see it happening. I can't see 2 samurai fighting and one of them stabbing himself in the leg. And I'm saying this from experience. We've played games where good samurai with high levels of skill and experience have chopped their own hands off. No, sorry, not having it. So it's my Ashigari. Now, I want to move those spearmen up, but I can't because that man on the bridge is blocking them. Well, I could do with reloading the man on the bridge, but that takes a full turn. So I'm going to step off the bridge and he can't reload, which is annoying, but that's the game. Back to the old fate again. So that's the second fate token. Comes back to me. Ashigare. He is gonna, no, he can't do. I was gonna put a second token on him. You know, when I said I've been playing this game for like 7 years, that's a rookie mistake. You can only play one turn, one token, of one man, unless it's a samurai. There we go. Hey, move up to there. There's samurai. Okay. I don't know how bold he's feeling. I think because of the way he's been, I think he's got to go for it. I think he's got to clatter in. I just think he's cocky. He's proper cocky. So he gets 5. Comes in with the attack with 5. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Look at that. Now that's an example where he's got more crosses than swords. So in the genuine rules, he would now injure himself. I don't like that. So what he does, bounces back an inch. You know, that's what the rationale in the rules would be. They sort of clash swords, and maybe there's some minor injury he takes during that clash. Or maybe, as now he's forced back, my man gets a jab at him, or stabs him with a second weapon, or whatever. No, still not buying it. Now, I've taken out now a commoner token, but I don't have any commoners. My commoners have all gone. So what I have to do is pass that token on to my opponent, who does have commoners. I haven't really got much of a shot. If he goes that way, he hasn't got a line of fire. If he comes this way, he's not got a line of fire. So I think his best job is to stay where he is. Yes, within 12. And to shoot at the group right in front of him, which is his natural target. So he gets 3 dice. He hits 2, 3, 4. They can't save. They take an injury because it's under 12. Look at that, nothing. Any of those had been swords, they would have been blood spots. 3 swords would have been a kill. Nothing. It's so jammy. And I suspect the only counter left in here is my samurai. Just check. Yeah, there is a fate token in there. I went, the only token left in there is, and I was going to prepare to say a fate token. It was a samurai. I thought, what have I done? What's that happened? So, well, we know what he's going to do. Boff, in he goes. So he runs in there to clonk him. Oh, 3. There we go. 3. Now, their samurai cannot defend because he's used both tokens. So he can't pay a token to defend. So for the strike, I now get 5. That red thing. So I'm going to clunk him 3. Now, in the real rules, that's him dead. Okay? That's me won. I've won the game, he's dead. In my rules, I've made a chart using a D20. That noise was me trying to open it. And I've got all the parts of the body written on using a D20. So I throw a D20, I've got 11. 11 is upper arm. So I know he's been injured in the upper arm with an 8 limb. Now it says here, a very near miss. So it adds a blood spot. So now he's cut, but that's going to reduce his abilities slowly, rather than, oh, you're dead, end of game. And also it means that injuries can be proven. Lose an arm, lose a finger, get blinded. And you can carry those into a character. And I do that in every game. I've got a Dark Age monk who's blind, but he was actually, as a young man, a warrior, and he was blinded in a battle. So that's everything now, because the last token to come out would be Fate. So we put all these away. Like that. Now, like I said, I could end the game now. Because I've officially killed their samurai. But there's a few things not happened. And I'd like them to. Just to show you sort of everything. So, first card token to come out is Fate. Very first one. There you go. Have some of that. So now it is. So I hurt him. The last token out would have been them. I would have gone first. I've missed my turn. It's them. Ashigari. Now we heard the command. Everyone's got to attack him. So I'm going to put them there rather than that. Oh, I'll tell you what. I'll do that. They're only scenic. They're only bits of polystyrene, look, from a packing case. And I covered them in PVA and scrappy bits of sawdust out the garage and put some grass on top. I think I got about 10 in a bag from Etsy for like bonsai gardeners or something. But anyway, whatever they are, that's what they are. Yeah, so they've come in 3 + 1, 4. Get rid of that. Confuse me. Oh, 5. Now, that's one of the things I wanted to discover. If you get 5 hits or more, that is a weapon bonus. So, they've got spears, so they get to strike, and that means on a strike, I know this somewhere. Strike. Spear, impale. If the target warrior fails his avoid roll, the targeter gets 1 extra damage. So, so that's their strike. Now I need to avoid this, and I look in here because I have to find a samurai. Now I have 5. I need to get 3, or they're going to hit me even harder than they would have done before. And luckily for me, I've got 3, so I've avoided that. Which means, because I've avoided it, in effect I've won. They haven't damaged me, so they bounce back. I've stood up nice and strong. One of the bonuses for them though is they've made that samurai play one of his tokens. So now it's me, and it's my samurai. Now I'm going to take advantage instantly of that samurai being injured, and I'm going straight in. And I know it plays me second token and it leaves me open to all sorts of danger, but I'm going in. Okay? And this is where my rules vary from theirs. What I say now is, because he's got a red blood spot, everything he does, move, fight, everything is 1 worse. Because their rules say that, okay, you've got a blood spot, everything's normal, you carry on running about, you carry on fighting until somebody hits you. And when somebody hits you, you lose a dice. Well, why? If I get shot in the leg, I don't carry on running about the battlefield and leaping over fences until somebody hits me on the head, and then I get twice as badly hurt for the damage to my head because I'm hurting the leg. It's illogical, isn't it? Is it just me? So what I say is, he's bleeding. He's bleeding badly from an arm wound. He's losing blood. He's weakening. So everything is weakening. So I get 5, but that's 1 better because I'm now better than him at defending, attacking. He's trying to defend with a sort of sluggish response because he's pouring blood. 2, 3, 4. Got him. Okay. Now, he's going to play a token to try and avoid that. So he plays a token to avoid that. Now, he would normally have 5. But he loses 1 because he's got a blood spot. And he fails to defend. He's only got 2. Which means I now do damage of 5 and plus 1 because he's got a blood spot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is a bonus strike with a katana, which is a deep cut. Deep cut. Right. If I get any swords from the injury, either I roll another sword and another dice, and every sword is a blood spot. So, because it's a proper deep cut. So I've hit him. He's failed to defend. And this is where I'm now really going to batter him, I hope. Because this is now the actual injury where I'm looking for 3 swords. Got them. Plus, but another sword. Let's leave them there. That's the 3. That's the 2. And that allows me, because I've got swords, another throw. There we go. And so what I do, and the rules don't do that, I've now said I'm going to do 2 D20 tests because I've got 2 lots of 3 by manipulating all of those bonuses that I earned. So why should it just be whoosh, you're dead? It might be whoosh, you're dead. I don't know. But this is what I do. There's people out there going, you're making it complicated, mate. Yeah, well, I like it complicated. 8. Oh. Stomach. Right, this might be a bit more juicy. Oh, no, it's not. 2. If armoured, that piece of equipment is now cut, broken, and useless. Right, so what I'm going to do, I can't really simulate that other than by giving him another blood spot. But he's all right. Well, he's not all right. But his armour's been smashed across the belly. And then I must have done a super quick slash, left, right. And the second one, oh, God, comes across his lower leg, below his knee. That's poor. That's not good. Very near miss. A scratch, more blood. So now he's going to get another blood spot. Be better doing that, a 2 and a 1, make it a 3. This lad is rapidly getting taken apart piece by piece. No, he's not that good. But you see how my game would have ended. I like all this conversation I'm having with me weird self. Okay, well, it's going to have to be him, I think. He's going to move to there. And he's going to shoot down the road. Oh, yeah, I move back, don't I? Ah, now. He now gets a shot at him. Yeah, right, okay. He can have a shot at the samurai because I've moved him. Because he moved back because he didn't kill him. Oh, I've hit him 3 and a 1. 2 and a 1. I've hit the samurai. I have no more tokens left. Drat. If I get killed by that archer, I'm going to be livid. Damage 3. Picking egg. Oh. 4. Below the knee. Or otherwise upper arm. I don't know. Odd number. No, I'll do it this way. Black, it's the leg. White, it's the arm. White, it's the arm. 13 sounds bad. I don't like that. I don't like these rules. I don't like this game. What idiot came up with this idea? Body, limb, sickening crunch. What have I done to myself? There is a sickening crunch. The bone shatters. The arm will require amputation. And one of my most important samurai is carried from the field, protected by loyal retainers, needing an amputation. Well, that little Herbert, covered in blood, is now going to go round crowing that he beat a member of the Date Imperial Guard. And I suspect that that's going to feed a second battle. But I don't know what you thought to that. That's how I play. It's not how Test of Honour always works. But I hope you enjoyed it. I do. And maybe listening to me ramble on, you get some idea about why I do strange things that I do. Okay, I'll see you later. Ta-ra, Chuck.